Bob's 2-Minute Blitz, star columnist Bob Kravitz's take on what's hot in Indianapolis sports.
There's a lot of discussion in the last 24 hours about whether 12 and 13 and 14-year-old kids, and they are kids, should be allowed to race at 125 miles an hour around tracks such as the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And of course, all this relates back to the soul-crushing news that Peter Lenz, who just turned 13, passed away after a race early Sunday morning. To me, it's a no-brainer. You have to allow them to race. This particular age group, this is the first fatality in 9 years. There are terrible injuries, but you know what? There are terrible injuries in cheerleading. There are terrible injuries in hockey. I know this young man, Derek Zyke, up here in Hamilton Southeastern, who, as I believe a sophomore or junior, lost an edge, went into the boards, and is paralyzed. So this kind of thing can happen in just about any place. It's high risk. These young people understand the risks. That's part of the lore of the whole thing. Their parents understand. I spoke with Ben Spies' mother, and on a number of occasions she wished that her son would give it up. But this is in their DNA. This is the way they're wired. I don't think it's for us to understand, or you know, it's hard for us to understand the way they are wired. And so, you know, rest in peace, Peter Lenz. Gone too quickly. It's a terrible shame. But I don't think we should be backseat parents here. I think his parents did what was right for him, and some people, it came to a terrible end. The other story, of course, is Brandon Rush tested positive for the third time for marijuana. He's been here 2 years. I don't personally have a great problem with marijuana use. I believe it should be decriminalized. I've done it in my lifetime. To me, it's not a big deal. But here's the deal. If you can't care enough about your teammates and your profession to stay clean 6-7 months out of the year, which is when they test. They don't test in the off season. They only test during the season. If you can't care enough, then you don't care about winning. You don't care about being the best player you can be. And the Indiana Pacers can't win with you or with guys like you. To me, Brandon Rush signifies everything that's wrong with some players in the NBA and professional sports, and I believe the Indiana Pacers ought to find a way to let him go. Finally, the Indianapolis Colts, it was pretty embarrassing, 59 points. I'm not too terribly worried just yet. Their offensive line is a bit of a concern. Charlie Johnson and Jeff Saturday can't get back fast enough, but I think this team will go out and win their usual 11 or 12 games. I'm Bob Kravitz.